Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll edit anything out that you want edited out, unless it's the N-word, and then I will leave it in. Yeah, it switches up. Dude, you know what? I've learned from Chicago comedy more than anything else.
Yeah.
Because it's like we join this community, you learn things.
Yeah.
Number one thing I've learned is there really aren't any repercussions for saying the N-word on stage.
There shouldn't really be if you think about the purity, purest version of it.
I completely agree, but
I mean, I understand people being in their feelings because that's important now.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I did a show in the backyard with a comic from Indiana, and there was plenty of black comics, plenty of whites, plenty of just everything. It was a barbecue party.
Sprinkle of everything.
And he went on stage and he didn't say the N-word, but he went around.
Did he tiptoe?
He danced around. He said
that's more impressive.
He honestly he had a whole thing about coon.
Nice.
And like all these other slurs.
Yeah, that's an interesting because it's like it
I
also.
feel okay with that one. I feel
it's also like a nickname for a raccoon.
Yeah. No, sick one too. Like
yeah.
And so he did that, and everybody wasn't really like fucking with it. And he gets off stage, and I'm the host.
Word.
And I got on stage, and I was like, "You were lucky that you were protected by the four corners, because there was a stage." I was like, "You were protected by the four corners." Yeah. And the unwritten laws that we abide by of comedy, or else you be getting the shit beat out of you right now.
That is true.
And they were all like, yeah. Like, Ravon was there and shit. He's like, hell yeah.
If you're just like elevated a little bit above people on a rectangular platform, you can just be like, no, I get to say whatever I want.
Yeah, you could literally just call it poetry. You could just be like, no, this is my art. This is my poetry.
Dude, I got into... So a guy... I posted this on my Instagram story, but a guy tried to fight me at an open mic for the first time ever.
Wait. Okay, go tell me about it.
What were you going to say?
Because some guy was not like trying to fight me, but some guy was really mad at me at another mic.
All right, holster that. Let's get to that next. Yeah. So I did this bit earlier in the night, and it did very well. It was about how... And this isn't like a great observation,
right?
But the bit I actually go into, I feel like is pretty decent. But it's like, I feel like we've all agreed that pit bulls are black people and golden retrievers are white people.
Fair.
Which is like, yeah, it's pretty fair. And
it's
a pretty benign observation.
Yeah.
I feel like.
Or black people could be Rottweilers, but anyway.
Yeah, exactly. But up that alley.
Yeah.
They're not. No one's saying like black people are like pugs.
Yeah.
Well, so that's okay. So. And then you'd think the Latino Chihuahua. Yeah, exactly. So I did that bit earlier in the night, and then like the one of the like big punches of the bit is like I can prove to you that they're different because like imagine if golden retrievers stormed the Capitol versus if pit bulls stormed the Capitol.
Ooh.
Golden retrievers, they're like, we can't shoot golden retrievers.
Yeah.
Pit bulls, they're like, get rid of it.
To take them out.
Exactly.
Take them out.
It's like, this is our chance. That's what I'm saying. So I go on stage at Logan, and I'm like second to last or whatever. There aren't a lot of people. And all I did, there's the last joke of the set, and I just was like, all right, so I feel like we all agreed pit bulls are black people, golden retrievers are white people. And this one guy just goes, oh, in the back, and I was like, what the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
I literally was like, okay, I'm gonna keep going.
Keep going.
And then I tried to like keep going. He just goes, asshole. And I was like, are you drunk? And he goes, you're an asshole. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? So then he called me an asshole again. I kind of turned into a dick, and I was like, I just want you to like, when you're going to bed tonight, look at the ceiling and really wonder if you were in the right here. while I was
beautiful.
I was such a little bitch, dude.
Yeah.
As I was walking with the cordless mic back to Leah, so I hand it to Leah, and then he's with a girl and a friend of his. Oh, also, so he's interrupting me, and I was like, dude, you're kind of being a chihuahua right now. And it gets a pop, and then he goes, why? Because I'm Mexican? And I was like, did I get that right? Yeah.
Did you film that?
No, I didn't film it.
I feel like okay.
I have an audio thing of it.
Okay.
But so then I get off. I'm sitting in the back, and this is why I brought this up. As I'm walking off, he's staring at me, and he's like, you're a fucking asshole. Like, he's just looking at me I'm still like, I am mad at him, but I want to troll him.
Of course.
So as I'm walking off, I go, this is my fucking art, dude. This is my art. I'm literally being such an asshole. So then I sit down and he's literally like looking across, like it's like looking across the classroom at a kid, and he's looking at me just like shaking his head. I'm just going, it's my art. And then so his girlfriend, I assume his girlfriend, she's like, let's get the fuck out of here. She's like moving him out. He says some comments to me in passing. I don't remember what they were. And then his buddy comes up to me and he leans in really close and he goes, yo, my friend's outside if you want to box.
Wow.
And I was like, if I want to box, he's like, if you want to box, we can do that.
If you're down to entertain a little mano a mano.
Isn't box such a funny term? If you'd like to box outside, they've got a ring set up. It's such a weird way to be like, yeah, let's go fisticuffs.
Yeah, let's go fisticuffs.
I almost wanted to be like, do you have gloves? Like,
what
the fuck? Yeah, so then I was like, you want to box over an open? I'm like, no. What the fuck? And then he got lost.
No, true. But
yeah, so
it could have gotten so many ways there, though.
Yeah.
Like, if you're pretty tall.
I'm 6 foot.
6 foot. 6 foot.
I appreciate the overestimation.
Well, because you got shoes on, and who knows how,
That's
you know
true.
what I'm saying? And you just wear it well, whatever. And Mexican dudes aren't that big.
He was like probably around my height.
Oh, damn. Well,
yeah.
Cool.
He was very similar build, honestly.
Oh, shit. Yeah, no, you did a good thing, but I would have just used my height to scare him.
How tall are you?
I'm not that tall. I'm 5'9". But if I'm thinking if I'm like
I'm
tall and there's a Mexican dude that wants to box and I'm like, all right, let me go outside just like
part of me kind
step up to him and then just like put my
just fucking look down at
just
him.
Boop him on the fucking
hold
forehead.
him on the head as he's fucking punching like that. Yeah, like a little
just kiss
kid.
him on the forehead.
Dude, trust me, I would have. If it was a midget heckling me, I would have been like, let's take this outside. I'll 2v1.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Dudes that want to get tough over words in a joke shows me how just not of a man you are.
It's pathetic.
It's
literally pathetic.
Grow up.
Dude,
how about you grow up?
You are a child.
Yes. Oh my God. Did the words offend your little
Dude,
ears?
At my climbing gym, somebody was talking like they found out I did comedy, and then this guy who's an actor, he was like, "Oh, I don't like so and so who we were talking about." He's like, because he feels the need to say the R word. And I just wanted to be like, you are a child.
You are
like,
the R
you
word.
think that we're children? You're the one that's like, it's an R word. Like, you're such a fucking bitch.
Anybody that will complain about it's like complaining about a comedian about his joke. It's like complaining to a clown about his bowling pins.
Yeah, it's like why are your shoes so big?
Yeah,
they're offensively big.
Like, how dare you hit that person with that flower that's not a flower but is a water gun?
Yeah, I didn't see that coming. Yeah, it's so stupid.
Yeah. I mean, it's we can go on forever, but
well, what was your story?
My story is I'm at the Burlington, and there's these two guys. They've been in the back of the Burlington. It's a dive bar. It's really just low key, and it's one of those where people like. There's a long bar, and then there's like the little side tables, and then just scattered in the middle. And so I go, and there's these two guys in the back, and I don't know. I hear them the whole time, and I'm like, think nothing of it. I want to go outside, and I'm just outside chilling, smoking with the people out there, and the two kids come out. And I'm like, one of them is sweating his ass off. Fat.
Yes. Dude.
Yeah. Hell yeah, you called it. He's sweating his ass off.
Good hint.
They're young. They're young, bro. They look like wow young, but not like child young. Just like maybe 20, 21. Kind of. You know, you got something going on. These kids were not. And then his friend was like a little taller, and he was just like, "Hey, you do comedy?" And I'm like, yeah. It turns out, I think they were on Molly.
Okay.
I think they were on Molly, and the tall one, his name's Gustavo, and his little one is like his sidekick. Perfect, I don't know who he is. But they were both trying to like post up.
They're trying to like big dog you?
And like, yeah, big dog me. This one guy is like, so like, how long you been doing it? And I looked at him, I'm like, we don't have to do this, dog. I was like, we don't have to do this.
Wait, are they comics?
I think they call themselves comics.
Oh, they're one of the okay.
But he's like, I've been to a few open mics, and I'm like, good for you, bro. And he got real jaded with that. And the other kid's like, yo, where you from? He's like this little, and he comes over, he's like, hey, where you from? And I'm like, Chihuahua. Yeah, Chihuahua. This little barking ass Chihuahua
he's got little
pug.
dog
It was
syndrome.
more of a pug.
Yeah.
more
Can barely breathe.
Yeah, he was sweating. He looked like my tia, bro. He looked like my
couldn't run down the block without getting winded.
He's like, I'm from Telampiles, some place in Mexico, and Gustavo's like, bro, you from Berwyn? It was like,
oh, he fucking didn't help him out.
They checked each other, and then
I kind of respect that. He checked his buddy, or maybe he's just.
I'm standing in
dumb.
front of Brian Meekles, and Brian is just standing there with me. He's kind of hoping I've take control of this conversation.
Yeah.
And this Gustavo kid's just like, he's like, hey, yo, you know who Dion Cole is? And I'm like, I heard of him. He's like, well, my cousin like fucking worked with him on his last special. I'm like, okay. And then he's like, how many times have you done this? I'm like, open mics? I was like, how many times have you done this? And he's like 50, 60. And I'm like, good for you, bro.
So it's like 3 months.
Yeah. And he's like, how many have you done? I'm like, I think I've done maybe 1,300.
Dude, you definitely done more than that.
Yeah, I'm like, maybe 13, maybe 4.
You're like in the thousands.
Yeah,
without
I'm
a doubt. Yeah.
And then he keeps talking about like who he knows, and I keep shutting him down.
Guys.
And then he takes a break with the little one, the little meatball kid. And they leave, and he turns around, and he comes back. He's like, hey, bro. He's like, hey, follow me on socials. And I was like, nah. I just looked at him.
Good for you, man.
I was like, nah.
Good for you. A lot of people would have caved at that point.
Nah. I was like, who is this? Who the fuck is this guy?
Yeah.
I'm looking at Miklas. Miklas is like, I don't know how to get the fuck out of here. Because he's trying to like. And so I leave. And then this Gustavo kid then tells everybody at the bar how he's like, I don't fuck with that Tito guy. I'm gonna fuck that Tito guy up. That Tito guy thinks he's the shit, this and that. And everyone's like, do you know what you're talking about?
Bro, that's so crazy.
They're like, who are you, dude?
Oh, so not self-aware.
And so if I see him, he's talking shit, I'm gonna just like stand up to him and be like, hey, I heard you mad about.
You should, dude. With a smile on your face, too.
I just don't like it. I don't like we don't have to do the thing.
No, I don't know why so many people insist on that.
We don't have to do the thing. How long have you shut up?
I know, dude.
Shut up.
I feel like everybody had some variation of that when they started out, but
yes.
The lack of awareness to know that they should shut the fuck up when like we've given them the signals to shut up.
Just stop.
People in comedy, more than any other demographic that I've ever encountered, have such an uncanny ability to hold you hostage.
Oh my God.
So like people in our scene will just hold you at gunpoint, and it's like where like they're forcing a conversation and then they're only talking about themselves in the conversation. Yeah. And you're like, so what is the point of this?
I don't want to call
so crazy.
anyone out, but there's certain comics that I don't care what day, what week, they'll come up to you and they'll tell you about the set they just had. And you're like, shut up. Shut the fuck up. I'm like, you're going to retell the joke and expect me to laugh the way that the audience laughed when you told it. Burton, stop it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a young man. That's not even young man. That's just I don't know what to do to have conversation shit.
I know. It's just like you can't just be normal.
Nah.
And it's like everybody in our scene, I don't know why I keep saying our scene, but like everybody that like does comedy is eccentric in some way.
To a degree, for sure.
So it's like there is it's the best hangs, but also the most insanely cringy awkwardness. But the awkward silences at tables full of comics are really deafening.
Oh, dude,
it's really wild.
The silence in the group chat after you bomb.
Yeah,
like
dude.
A meme or a reply, bro. You're like,
that hurts.
Cool.
That hurts a lot. Dude, my do you know what GroupMe is?
No.
It's a messaging app. It's just like for group chats, and my lacrosse team had a GroupMe. And the thing that's different than like a regular group chat is there's a like button, and it counts the total number of likes. So if you like flame somebody in the GroupMe, you could like it hit your phone like brah 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 brah. It'd be like you got 27 likes. The whole team liked your message. But there'd be some times where you like tried to get somebody and you got 0 likes. And then somebody else would say something to you, and they'd get a ton of likes. It would just like shame.
Oh, yeah, the silence and and the everyone just like,
Yeah.
But that's fine because as comics we grow that like, I'll take that L.
Batting average.
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
I'll take an L on Facebook with a like an update, or like on Instagram and the little bubble caption.
Yeah.
I'll take some little risks there, and if I'm not getting any real traction, I can get rid of it.
Putting out a feeler.
Yeah. I'm just testing it. After like 3 hours, it's got like 5 things. I'm like, yeah, we're done. We're done here. We're done.
I thought this was gonna be a hit.
Yeah. No, definitely. I love comics in the way that we can just like shoot the shit, get real, have even disagreements, and then still find a way to land the plane.
Yes, dude. That's the best. Yeah.
Is what I like about us.
Yeah, and it's honest right off the bat. It should be.
At least it comes off as honesty.
Yeah.
But then there's
just transparency, I guess.
What I can't deal with in groups of like artsy people, I can't deal with the artsy fartsy. I can't deal with. Are you running a bit by me?
Yeah.
Are you being real with me right now? Are you just in this whole Andy Kaufman era? You know what I'm saying?
Where some people are like wind-up toys.
and then they are wind-up toys. And then sometimes the things that are wound up that they say aren't even their real opinions. And it's to be a little bit much. Once you kind of clear out the clouds in your comedy career, your trajectory, you should be able to find less and less of that kind of stuff.
Theoretically.
Performance. Yeah, theoretically.
Yeah.
But once you cultivate your like, you got your little group, your little homies.
Yeah.
Who you run with.
That's like life-changing.
That's everything.
Dude, it really is.
It really is.
That is the number one thing to make comedy enjoyable is have a group of people that you like doing it with.
Yeah, absolutely. My people have left.
Rip.
Fuckers.
I'll play sad music.
But there's always other people to pick up slack, and sometimes the universe is telling you.
Well, it's a revolving door too.
Yeah, and sometimes the universe is like, take a second, chill out.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need anybody right now. Just get your shows in. I had some friends that just left the state, and then I got real down. But then in my downtime, I was able to like develop my material a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely something to be said for going to a mic by yourself and just being very productive.
Yeah.
Just sitting there and just taking in local open mic comedy and then being like, it's my turn.
Yeah.
I'm working this out.
6:30 on a Tuesday. I'm going to be busy until midnight. We're just going to go to Clash.
Yeah, you ever think about just like how much, I mean, this is such an open mic talk, but like you just like leave your house at 6, you don't get back till like 1.
Mm-hmm. Like those days for me are gone.
It's a whole night.
But I remember in the first like era of my whatever this has been.
Whatever the fuck this is.
Mondays were like 3 mics, Tuesdays were like 2 mics, and then Wednesdays was 4 mics.
Damn.
So I'd have 8 by Wednesday.
Yeah, that's nice. That's very nice.
And that was pretty much going down Milwaukee and then staying within like this.
Well, the Lincoln Lodge used to be so good on Mondays.
Yeah.
Because you could have this 6 p.m., 7 p.m. Logan.
And then you could run to Kohl's, and then you could run to a few places. But honestly, like I realized looking back, if you're trying to work on a bit, give yourself at max 3 in a day. And then see if you can do every other day.
Every other day?
What you want to do is you want to not work a bit to death.
Oh.
Well, you'll like, I'll say like do it on, let's say Monday you got 3 mics. I would say do your bit, but write out 3 versions of that bit. Do the first version, the one you think is off the top of your head and then do that. The second mic, twist it up. And then the third mic, see if one of either or is what you wanted. And then you can shelf it. Then don't come back to it until like Friday or next week.
Yeah. That's a good idea. That's basically what I do.
Yeah. I didn't even realize that until way late in the game.
Yeah, I just started. I just started realizing that I should do a bit, and then I should just keep changing it up, and then I should just like, once I get to something where it's like, okay, it's like simmering, I'll just like put it away, and then when it comes back, it'll be better. Yeah. That's been nice.
It's like muscles. If you only go and lift.
Yeah, it's just working out.
Yeah, it's just working out.
Yeah, I guess. And then also it's like the balancing of the actual writing, sitting down and writing and on stage.
Yeah.
Which is a whole kibosh.
cabbage.
Really, you made me think of this. Weren't you posting on your story about being at a comedy festival and a guy holding people hostage?
Bro,
Can you tell me about that?
Yes. All right. I should have had the clip out by now, but I have had other.
Oh, you're editing.
Yes.
Oh, dude, I'm excited.
So there was a guy. I don't know his name. I think we just called him Greg.
Shout out Greg.
Shout out Greg.
Big fan of the pod.
So Greg, we find out that Greg bought a festival pass for all the shows in the festival.
Just as an
attendee.
Okay.
And he took it upon himself to then go to the after parties.
Holy shit.
And the open mics that were a part of the program. However, no one knew who he was at first because he was at the 5:30 Wednesday show, which was a bar. Is the beginning of the thing. Like we drove straight there. We get there. He's like one of the first guys that I see there, and I'm like, all right, he's got to be a comic.
Yeah.
And then he proceeds to tell everybody how happy he was because his president won. And so that was the day after the election.
Yo, I did not know that
detail.
detail.
Oh, there's more to this.
That's his icebreaker?
That's his icebreaker
guys,
to
I'm
everyone.
happy.
He didn't give a shit. And now he's got this leather jacket.
Ooh.
And he's got this.
How old is this guy?
Probably in his mid-50s.
Okay.
Kind of thing. He's got a tattoo above his eyebrow that looks like a birthmark, but you get closer, it used to be a name of some kind, but it's a tattoo.
Uh-huh.
So this guy proceeded at all the after parties to corner any comic he could, and what he did, he would run his bits by them. And you're like, are you a comic? Because I've seen you everywhere. He's like, no, he's like, I don't do this on stage. He's like, I crush it on the streets with people.
Oh,
and I'm
God.
Like, what? He's like, yeah. So what I do is I just tell you, like, I was at the bank the other day with my nephew, and I'm like, what are you doing? And he starts running the thing, and I'm like, you run. That's all you do is you run bits by people. It's like, yeah, I fucking murder. And I'm like, hey, dude, that's not comedy. That's schizophrenia, dude.
Oh my God. That's such an intimate form of schizophrenia.
Oh, bro. And then I filmed him talking to a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Him running his bits. And that's what the video that I'm going to come out with is because he tells us about, he cornered me and this guy, Connor Christmas. And he starts telling us about the first time he smoked crack. He was in his 40s. Mm-hmm. And he was at his mom's house trying to fix the tile. And then one of the workers that was fixing the tile with him, he like was carrying tile for the bathroom. He's like, hey, you want to smoke crack? He's like, I've never smoked crack before. And I'm like, and then what happened? He's like, the next thing I know, I spent $2,000 that week. I'm like, what? He's like, I just got hooked on crack immediately. And then he starts telling us about losing custody of his kid and shit.
He has a kid?
There's a kid involved.
Oh, there's always a kid, man.
And then I find him outside talking about his friend. And this was the funniest part. I find him outside. He cornered Pratik, Chris Fort, like a bunch of Bruno, this cat from Australia. He cornered like 5 or 6 of them.
It's impressive.
Very impressive.
Yeah, it's honestly admirable how good they are at holding people hostage.
When he Spider-Man them all, like when
yeah, that's so funny.
I'm like, bro, I can't believe he did it. And I go outside and I'm filming, and right on target, he's like, yeah, my friend, he's got a daughter and she's underage, you know. And that's when we all were like, whoa! We all turned around and ran away.
That's an amazing start.
Because we're like, we're not sticking around. Like, this dude's been fun
for comics to do that, by the way.
Yeah.
To scatter, that's like
he interrupted a live podcast recording to show them some shit that he wrote on his phone or whatever.
Oh my God!
It seems
like a movie character.
I was like, this guy's my favorite guy. That's why I filmed him. I'm like, this is my favorite guy of the whole thing, and people are like, oh, he's the fucking.
That's a funny take.
And I'm like, I want to get to know this guy, and so he sits down with me. He sits down.
Of course.
With me. And he's trying to come off like he wants me to be impressed. Mm-hmm.
Well, he murders.
Because he murders on the street.
Yeah. This dude's a killer.
Yeah. He's like, these fucking people don't know about me. I'm like, what do they not know about you, bro?
Oh, great journalism.
He's like, he goes, I'm a fucking event. And I'm like, you're an event. He's like, like the Super Bowl? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I know. And he's like, I'm fucking like that. And I'm like, hell yeah. He goes, what's my fucking name? And I look at him. I'm like, I was like, Greg. And then I look at him. I'm like, what's my fucking name?
Nice.
And he goes, I'm fucking out of here.
No! He bailed?
Yeah.
You won, dude.
I won, dude.
Dude, that's so nuts.
I think I filmed it, too, because I was filming
Please tell me that's on camera.
I have to look up the footage.
You calling him out and him being like, I'm out of here.
I think I did a camera retake as soon as it happened.
Yeah.
That's how I remember it. But, yeah, this guy was like, I'm a fucking event. And I'm like, bro, he lives in such a deluded.
Yeah. It's kind of a nice life.
It's, yeah.
I mean, if that's all you know.
Poor cat, bro. He like desperately wanted to be like a comedian maybe years
But so
ago.
why wouldn't he get on stage?
So he went up at one of the open mics.
Oh, shit. How'd that go?
And it was bad timing because everybody was kind of, we were all in the other bar already getting twisted. And so I happened to go in when it was just me and a few other people in the room. And he goes on, dude, he did this. Wow. He gets on stage and he starts telling us a thing. And then he's just like, no, it wasn't. He's like, I just murdered with this outside. He literally said that. He's like, what was the thing? And then he like broke down. He couldn't fucking figure it out, and he only did like 2 minutes.
And he just
get off stage. And then that night when he courted me for the first time, he was like, he's like, I was gonna do it. I just crushed it outside. Everybody was fucking dying, this and that. I'm like, bro.
Yeah, this is really sad.
What are you?
Yeah, it's so. Yeah, he's like a. He does. It feels like if you like scratched him, like worms would crawl out.
Yeah,
you know?
He's
like
Oogie
outsider.
Boogie with no Oogie or Boogie. Nothing good about it. I felt kind of weird, but I ended up like kind of. I don't know what to make of this guy. The producers didn't know what to make of the guy because they're like, he's at the after parties, but I don't think the festival pass gives you access to after parties. I'm like, it's not like there's a lot of places to go here.
Yeah.
And, and he was legitimately at all the shows.
That's just such an insane existence.
It
It really is.
He got caught making fun of another comic for the way he walked, and the other dude turns around. He's like, he's got scoliosis, bro.
Oh, let's go.
And he's like, wow, my bad.
So he's just at every at every point he's just getting shut down.
And people were, the ladies were a little bit very weirded out by him.
Shocking.
Because even there's like another layer to it, right?
Yeah.
Sure. But as comics, we were all like, have you met this guy yet? And they're like, bro, he cornered me at the bathroom. He cornered me over here.
It's kind of nice to all have something to talk about.
I mean, he was the most popular guy.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the face you remember.
I mean,
no press is bad press.
Everyone
folks.
was just like the guy with the tattoo. Yeah, he came up to me and told me that he was happy his president won. And I'm like,
such a crazy nice to meet you.
Fuck, bro.
so forward.
No, I'm gonna try to edit and post it. I've had to do more editing lately, but I have to make money, so it's been a hard little.
Editing sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, I need like a full-time Filipino, like virtual
lady boy.
Yes, I need it to be lady. I need to hear the clack.
A lady boy with nimble fingers.
Yeah. I want you in tights and in high heels.
Red high heels.
Yeah.
Hat or no hat?
No hat.
No hat.
No hat.
That's my bad.
No hat.
I shouldn't even have asked that.
And then I'd be like, here, edit this for me, please.
Yeah.
And I'd pay them a fairly good wage for that.
Uh-huh. Dude, sometimes I'll act. I know we're joking about this, but sometimes, do you ever catch yourself worrying about things that you'll never have to worry about? I'll see Dua Lipa posted on Instagram, and it's 20 slides of perfect pictures.
Yeah.
And I'll legitimately have the concern. I'll be like, what if I'm really big? Am I still gonna be posting on my own Instagram? It's just, and then I'm just like, what the fuck am I talking about?
Who
What
are you?
What the
Inner
fuck?
voice?
Yeah, exactly.
Huh.
You're just like, Jesus.
Yeah, am I still gonna be able to post? I think that after I hear all the conversations with the upper echelon of entertainers and comics, you can do many things. How close do you want to be to your digital life? And how much do you just need it to so you can enjoy your life?
Yes.
What's your give and take, right?
Because some people's, it's just the same thing.
Yeah, some people like that is hand in hand what they want, but I think some get obsessed unhealthily, like anything, like any diet, like any food, like any sugar. The dopamine hit, it can be also unhealthy.
Yeah, of course.
I would probably prefer to have like a balance. I have control of it all, but I would want like, let's say, scheduled posts for things that I really don't need to be thinking about, right? Whether it's like a New Year's thing or like holidays are big, or if like my birthday, whatever, like things you can just like pre-plan out, and you have shows coming up, promotional stuff, and then you show here and there that you do like, oh look, I ate this fucking fish over here, and I had a burger with my friend guy, whatever.
Here's a mountain.
Yeah. Here's me in sunglasses.
Because it's not nice to look at someone's page and it's just like all clips.
Yeah, no, that tells me that you are solely seeking out your comedy excellence. I want people to dig my vibe as a human.
And then because of that.
And then get into my comedy and be like, dog, he's funny.
Yeah, that's like the Shane Gillis approach, where it's like you go to Shane Gillis's page and it's just like a dude.
Yeah,
it's just a dude's Instagram.
Yo,
and then you see his stuff and it's amazing.
Shane Gillis been teaching me a lot about Civil War. It's great.
Yeah,
and
history is badass.
I want to know more about you. So what we need to know about is not your fucking jokes. They're part of it, but I want to see who you are
on stage.
What you are. Well, listen, we're building brands online.
Hello. Yeah, that's true. Are you saying me specifically?
Anybody.
Oh, okay.
You, Royal.
I got scared.
No, worry about it.
I was like, damn.
But think about it. Like, if you're going to be posting nothing but your bits, fine. But I don't care about just that.
Yeah.
And your generation, I'm assuming, is a lot more connected to the people that they follow. And they want to follow people that they kind of almost know.
I don't know if they're more connected.
Or I think, like, what if you see the journey of you from beginning, middle,
that's
advanced?
That's cool.
People see that before you become the butterfly.
Yeah, totally. There's like more documentation.
There's documentation, and I think that buys.
Really right.
That
which is part of the reason I don't regret doing a podcast.
No,
is because like if I do this for 10 years. Yeah. No matter what happens, it's still a conversation. It's a time capsule.
It's a time capsule. It's the smartest thing. I wish I would have done more of it when I was younger. I have interviews on my phone with people I love. Everywhere I went, I tried to interview people. I didn't call it a podcast. It was just like, tell me shit.
That's the thing. It's just a conversation.
But to become like a fixture in your comedy life, you're gonna need some sort of vehicle online, digital presence. And if you're just going to be posting bits, those bits better be Mark Normandy. They better be super clever.
You better be able to fucking hear the crowd react
at
at all.
Cuz like don't be a slave to the beast of it all.
The machine?
The machine?
Beast?
Yeah.
Beast machine? Yeah. I agree.
Yeah.
But it's also then there's it's like, well, how do you get to that point? And a lot of people have proven that if you just abuse the algorithm.
And you can.
Which is a short-term success.
Yeah.
But,
It's, all right, so like pickup artisty shit versus good guy, long-term
poet.
Wants a family, is willing to do the dirty hard work, get up early, go to sleep late, not just be always on his vices kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can get the quick fix. I just went on a wild ride with this roast battle clip,
I saw it.
And makes me want to be like, bro, if I had one of these a month, like, what do I need to do to create this kind of a wave? Mm-hmm. And it could feel, I'm like, I can see why that's addictive. I could see why that might change your beliefs or what you want to do with yourself.
Totally. It's like a tangible, like, it's like the only way you can look at what you're doing is tangibly getting better.
Facts.
It's like seeing a legitimate number that is your worth go up.
Yes. Yeah.
It's kind of fucked up.
It's our own sim.
And we do it all the time too. Like, how often do you meet a comic and you like don't think anything of them, and then you look at their Instagram and you're like, oh, 17K. And you're like, no idea this was a real dog. It's like, dude, that means nothing. It literally means such jack shit.
How many followers do you got, huh? How many followers do you got? It's like
apparently they do that in LA. Oh yeah, so you were there. Was there what was the scene like?
I don't like it. No offense to anybody in LA, but I didn't meet anybody.
Offend them, dude. Fuck LA.
I just didn't meet anybody who was other than the crew that I went with. Mm-hmm. I don't think anybody's trying to fuck with anybody there. I don't think they're trying to engage with each other as a human. I met some people that would talk to me in this, for lack of a better word, this dumb woke language.
Yes.
Because they were telling me about the open mic scene. I was like, okay, and then there's an all women's open mic. He's like, all women identifying, and I'm like, do you think I'm giving you a job, dude? I'm like, do you think I hold any fucking power here? And he kept doing it.
He's like a press secretary.
And bro, he would even, this one individual guy, I don't mind him, but he was like, hey, can I be vulnerable? Is this like a safe place to talk? I thought he was joking.
He just asked you that?
No, in the group.
He's a comic.
Well, that's what he says.
That's upsetting.
Bro, and he was pitching, he's like, I've been to all these like Jimmy Kimmel pitches and trying to get on all these things. He blamed racism for him not being funny.
Classic.
He blamed racism. This is how the fucking, I hate to say it, this is how fucking dumb some of these people have
Wait, gone. So just explain that, because I'm not exactly.
He is an active comic, and he's not a bad guy. Just, I feel like the scene there warped him. Mm-hmm. And
he got.
He got, and it was this whole safe space. Let me be vulnerable. Let me correct he self-corrected his own language multiple times, and he would stop himself from being funny because it would, like, the thing he's about to say is about like let's say hitting a lady or whatever. It's like kind of a funny, not funny thing, but he would stop himself like, oh, I don't want to sound like that, and I'd be like, who brought this guy?
Oh man!
And
it's so anti-comedy.
But that's what I'm saying. And he's complaining that he's not getting, like, his stuff's not getting read or passed down, and he's trying to do like this late night writing gigs and this and that. And honestly, I was like, maybe you're just not funny, dog. Maybe you're not being true to yourself.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like he's trying to please both parts. Like, if you say the joke and then you apologize for it, you're just being a people pleaser.
That's what it felt like. It felt like a lot of people had bended the knee to this whole higher thought of thinking, whatever it was. Either way, they weren't easy to talk to sometimes, and other groups did not care to like hang or feel comfortable.
Which is a sign.
I had a great roast battle with Bilal Sharmoug, shout out, and shit's going bananas online. It's bananas.
It's doing really well. Great numbers. Tito.
So good.
That sounded like Michael Jackson.
Yeah, that's Trump Jackson. Shimona.
Build the wall.
Yeah, so we had a banger of a battle. We're in the back of jamming the van, and I'm like, all right, so where do we go after the show? Because especially, at Roast Battle, especially if we're down here at Zany's, after the show, especially if a good one show, we just kind of like, let's all grab a beer.
Yeah.
Let's call
at that
just
place
one
that
minimum.
only takes
Even
cash.
I know people that go for the one beer.
Mm-hmm.
And
that's
so
me.
They're all there in the back. Me and Bilal, to be fair, were the only ones that had a good roast. We came with it, But everybody else was okay. They probably were just like comics who do the roast battle to get the clips so they can get the views. So
yeah.
It's math to them. Mm-hmm. I'm here to battle, baby.
Of course, I'm going to war.
Rumble, And Murder, we're in the back. So I'm telling them, like, where do we go? And they're like, there's a bar across the street. I was like, oh, I see that. But where's the after show hang? They're like, what do you mean? I was like, well, when we have a good show in Chicago, some of us like to go grab a beer and bask in it. Like,
it's not that wild, yeah.
And she looks at me. She's got a little fake fur and thick, like.
Of course.
She's like, oh.
Going in a lab.
She's like a community. And before I say anything, the other comics that were listening in behind her, they all looked over, and all of them at the same time were like, we don't do that here.
Huh.
I'm like, y'all don't fuck with each other? Y'all don't. And then me and my 3 friends, luckily I had another friend come through. We went to the bar, so it was like 4, 5 of us, but nobody else went out. No one invited me fuck nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's like, oh, it was great meeting you. Da, da. No one was like, hey, what else are you doing this weekend? Hey, what's up? Where you posted up, man? La da da. No, everybody was like, oh, you're super funny and like good vibes. And I'm like, cool.
Follow me?
But no one, I don't know, man. I'm a Midwestern. I guess that's my Midwestern shit. I don't even know what to call it. But I'm like, if I kind of fuck with your vibe and we just had a good show, I'd be like interested in talking.
I feel like Midwest and East Coast are both like that. Where it's like, yeah, I like you. Let's hang out.
Like somebody invite me knowing I'm from Chicago. Like,
yeah, especially, dude, you're an out-of-towner.
And we just banged out the show. Yeah. Like, banged it out.
They're just like, all right, fucking.
And nobody was for known these. So to me, all that being said, the LA shit felt soulless.
That's good.
And then you think about it and you're like, oh, to reach the upper echelons of these of this thing here, you have to have a certain amount of like lack of a fuck to give about somebody.
What is that? Lack of empathy?
You can't care about people. You have to be solely focused on your own survival and trajectory.
Yeah.
And LA's like the mountain for them. And so it's I can't trust nobody. I gotta talk to it's just weird.
It also just sounds like they were bad hangs, right?
They probably weren't. I mean, really? I feel like my friends, we're pretty like super cool. Some of them weren't. They're good. And
what time do you need to leave?
I need to be out by 5:15, which is in 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Okay, well then I have something I want you to talk about after this.
Perfect. And then LA was fine. Cleveland was fine. Austin was fine.
Well, at least like Cleveland will have a camaraderie about it, where it's like, this sucks. We're here. We're doing this.
Yeah.
Which I feel like, well, no?
No.
Okay. I was just going to say, like, that's part of the reason why I love Chicago so much. Oh, I mean, this is probably not found based in any, like, actual... This is just me just talking out my ass, but I feel like because it gets so cold in Chicago, there's more of a camaraderie between the people that live there.
Yeah.
Just because you're going through shit together.
Yes.
And going through shit together is very good for bonding.
It's brother.
LA, it's always beautiful.
That's the problem.
So you don't really take it.
That's the problem. I think that they don't get pressed into situations where they need each other.
Yeah.
Like here, like what you just said, like here we kind of do. Hey, they should have a bunch of people that need rides to get in cars and go around.
But it's like we were saying before, like the best hangs are like shivering outside of an open mic with people that are smoking.
One of my favorite nights in Chicago was we had the Arctic Blast.
Polar Vortex 2018.
Yeah. I think we were across the street.
-38 with wind chill.
Yeah, -38. A bunch of us hung out across the street at this one garden unit. And then we had to draw straws for who was going to get more booze.
Oh, that's so great.
And it was, we put like 3 or 4 blankets on them. Because like, we literally were like, we're going to honor these fucking things.
Yeah.
And 3 of them got beer, came back. We had beer, whiskey, Mario Kart. A bunch of blankets. It was just one of the gnarliest days.
It's amazing.
It was one of the gnarliest days.
I remember I was in college. I was at Elmhurst at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I went outside in my underpants for $5. Shout out Michael Pavsek for Venmo. No, it's super easy. I was like, cold is cold.
Yeah.
Once it gets past like 0, I'm not feeling the difference. It's just like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
But yeah, totally. That's like when it's super shitty, it's kind of like when the lights would go out when you were little, and it's like, let's all light candles and play Monopoly or whatever. Yeah.
Light candles, play Monopoly.
All right, but what I wanted you to talk about, because you were telling me this in the Zanies green room, is your Olympic experience. Sorry, but dude, it's so nuts. You don't have to talk about it.
I will. No. So that was not the best attitude.
I've told lots of people this.
There's two Olympic stories. The main one is 2004 Athens Olympics. I was a young man. I had traveled through Europe that summer. I studied in Spain. My friend lived in Bulgaria. We were roommates and teammates in college. Shout out Ivan. Shout out Bulgaria.
Shout out Carthage.
Shout out Plovdiv. Anyways.
Yeah. Carthage swimming.
Again, Carthage swimming. So I ended up visiting him, and it turns out that the Athens Olympics had begun, and it was only an 18-hour bus ride.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up buying a ticket, thinking Ivan and my friend Chris, who was also in Bulgaria, was gonna come with me. And these motherfuckers pulled out last minute and didn't tell. This is, I think low key, this was their way of getting rid of me. I don't know why. I think they needed a time away from me, and I needed a time away from them. I was a bit of a wild child.
Sure.
Chris is more of an arts guy. Ivan's more quiet, and it was anyways. So I end up having to go on an 18-hour bus ride by myself from the middle of Bulgaria down to the tip of Greece. And all I had was a backpack, a change of shirt, like maybe another pair of underwear or two, and some socks. Because I was like, I don't really need to change my shorts. Mm-hmm. And I need maybe at best 1 or 2 shirts for like the weekend. And I have my passport, and then I had gotten robbed.
Nice.
Right before this all started.
Yeah.
So my mom had to send me money, cash, that I had picked up at a Western Union.
Like in an envelope? Oh, okay.
At a Western Union. And then I picked up the cash.
Yeah.
And then I had to turn the dollars into levs and then buy the ticket with the levs. And then I put a little bit of money in my pocket. So I had dollars and levs.
Yeah.
I go, we cross the border from Bulgaria to Greece, and I didn't realize that Greece only used euros.
Wait, please? Please tell me, because I know there was a moment.
Yeah.
Please tell me that moment where you realized how fucked you were.
Okay, so like I go, I'm like, all right, I'm thirsty and I'm hungry, right? It's been like 9 hours, 10 hours, however long it was, bro. I don't even remember. And I'm like, all right, bro, I gotta go. So I get off, and it's a gas station. Everyone's walking around and shit. I got like maybe $300-400 in U.S. bills. 4 $100 bills.
Wow.
And then like a few dollars worth of levs, which is Bulgarian currency, and no euros. Mm-hmm. So I go to a sandwich guy and I'm like, how much for that? And he tells me, he's like, oh, it's $3.50. I'm like, damn, $3.50. I was like, I got like, because levs are like
nice, dude.
Levs are like 300, 400, 500. So it's a completely different number. I'm like, and I pulled out levs, and he's just like, nah, bro, we only use. He's like, we only use euros. And I'm like, what the fuck you mean, dog? I'm like, I got lev, I got dollars. I'm like, I got a credit card. It's 2004 in Greece, bro. Ain't no credit card machines anywhere to be found.
I didn't even think about that.
And they're like, and it's also midnight, and so like we can't do shit for you. Oh my God. I'm like, nothing. So I ended up not eating and not drinking, and starting to panic. Mm-hmm. Wake up.
Where'd you sleep?
On the bus.
Oh, okay.
It's a long bus ride.
Yeah.
So I'm like, fuck it. I filled up a water bottle I think I had with water. I don't really remember too much. And then we get to Athens. I look at the bus driver. He looks at me, and I'm like, he gives me like a thumbs up, cause he just looked at me and laughed.
Because he's like, this guy's fucked.
I don't know, but he was just like, okay, thumbs up. I'm like, thanks, dude. I'm like, I have 3-4 days here, and then I'm going back, right? I had gone to go get some money. I changed dollars into euros. And I'm like, cool. And then I put a few euros, a few dollars. So it's like maybe like $100 or $200 left. And then enough. And then I went to go buy the tickets. I buy the tickets. And I only buy tickets for swimming and water polo because that's what I wanted to go to see. And I was like, I want to see the first gold medal I can. And they're like, well, this is the first time that they're exhibiting, what is it called? Trampoline.
Oh, I knew it was going to be retarded. I was just waiting for you to say the weirdest event.
They're like, I'm like, how much is the trampoline ticket? They're like, it was like 70 euros. And I was like, bet. It was one of the terrible, worst idea.
What was the swimming tickets?
Swimmings were like 100,
okay.
120, 100 euros.
I didn't know that it would be different per event. That makes sense.
I mean, it's just this was like.
They're trying to move the trampoline tickets, I assume.
This was like Phelps's second Olympics, first real Olympics.
Yeah.
So I already knew about him, so no one had caught on yet.
Oh, yeah, you're on him early.
So this is his rookie year, even though he was in the 2000 but he was 15 and he was just like fucking around. It's such a crazy thing to say, but anyways. I ended up spending all my money on event tickets, and then it was like Friday or something. Yeah, it had to be like Friday, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna go get more money. All I have is US dollars. And I go, and it turns out all the cash machines were going to be fucking closed until Sunday.
Why?
I don't know.
Nice.
And long story short, I ended up spending the entire trip sleeping on the train because if you had tickets to the events, you could sleep on the train. You could be on the train. You could be on the train, which was free for anyone that had tickets.
Uh-huh.
And it was the first year they opened their metro.
Okay, so this is like a subway deal? So, okay.
Yeah, and it went around Greece.
So it's just like a loop.
Yeah, it was like a thing, and I had my backpack, and like I had deodorant, and I had a few things, and so I just went and passed out.
So every night you just how many nights?
That was the first. That was one of the first nights. That was I can't really tell you exactly.
So you just were like, when you decided you had to go to bed, you just went to a train station, got on the train.
Well, I would go to because of the Olympics, they have events in all these plazas. And there's a bunch of public
space. That makes sense.
Yeah. So it's like the Olympics came to Chicago. They'd probably rent out like, let's say Logan Square.
Sure.
Like the boulevard.
Where they do Lala.
And then they'll do a festival there. They'll do a street whatever. So I would go to street parties. I would go to street parties and then dance with them. And then I would sleep in the park, and then I stopped sleeping in the park because one morning I got hit. I got hit by this dude who was brushing trash on the streets in Athens.
Hit by? What do you mean hit?
He's waking me up.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm in a park.
So what's your sleeping setup in the park? Are you like on a bench?
My head's on my book bag. I'm under a tree. Next to the sidewalk.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah. It's whatever.
And
I used the free newspapers, the free news Olympics newspapers. I rolled them up, and I remember it was Ian Thorpe was on it. Anyways.
Oh, for like a pillow?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
good night, Ian.
This is one of those. There's so many layers to this story, and I will end it soon. Not that soon, but anyways. So.
Whenever you need.
I'll tell this last one. I'll wake up. It's this guy. He's got a beard. And I'm like, I'll move. He's like, no, I want to talk to you. So like, I want to talk. I was like, He's like, where are you from? I'm like, I'm from Chicago. He's like, Chicago, Windy City. I love Chicago. I live in Chicago. I'm like, what? He's like, yes. Long story. I live in the northwest side of Chicago at the time, and one of my favorite places was Franksville. And this guy, he goes, you know Franksville? I was like, yeah. He's like, you know this diner, that diner? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, those were mine. I'm like, for real? He's like, yeah. And I'm looking around. I'm like, what happened? He's like, don't bet money. you don't have. George with the beard. And he was cleaning up the streets of Athens with a broom. He had pretty good English, knew all the streets that I lived in. I told him where I went to school. He's like, oh, with the glasses, the dark glass around it. I'm like, yeah. He's like, oh, yeah, I know. And he told me about this whole thing, and I'm like, wow. And he went to Maywood. He would go to this Maywood, like, dog and horse fucking thing, and he lost it all.
Small fucking world.
Yeah. And this is just one of, like, 5 different side stories of this Olympic. I should really, like...
You should just sit down and write about it.
Yeah. It's one of the most insane things that's ever happened.
Just closing your eyes. I've slept... Have I slept? Yeah, I've slept outside, but just, like, closing your eyes... And I've slept at the airport, but, like, just, like, being next to a sidewalk on a rolled up newspaper, I can't fathom.
Yeah.
I can't fathom just, like, being outside and be like, well, I guess...
No, the best was in the train was fun because it was like a movie, right? Because I was, first of all, I hadn't showered and nothing, and like I have my little book bag, and then at some point I had a bag of stuff that I was stealing from the memorabilia stores. I kept going in there.
How much did you get?
I got a few cool things,
nice,
like
dude.
Posters, like a towel thing, and I mean there was no. Anyways, I needed to survive, but I remember passing out on the train. And it was like people like going home from like their late night dinners with their friends. And I would wake up and then it would be like nobody.
That's crazy.
And then I'd pass out and then I'd wake up and then it would be like all these people leaving the clubs. Whoa. All these dudes trying to smash. All these girls are like hammered and everyone's there. And I'm like, wow. And then I like headphones back on, out. I wake up. There's this fucking little old lady with her bag. Sun's coming up, and she's just staring at me. And I, like, wake up. I'm drooled out on the fucking thing. I look. It's only her and nobody else. So I'm like, it's the demon that takes me, you know?
Yeah, it is. That's a sweet little demon, though.
And then I pass out, and I wake up, and it's cops hitting me.
Ooh.
Cops hitting me. They're like, you can't fucking sleep here. You gotta la-di-da. I would just get out. I walk out. I go to another line.
Get right back on.
And I get back on it. And then for the 24, 48 hours I couldn't get money or exchange, I was I was begging at the sandwich street shops.
You begged?
Yeah.
Did you make a sign?
No.
What was your strat?
I just went up to them. I would just point at their change. I was like, yo, can I get that? Because like 50
That's smart.
50 cents like was one coin and €1 is a little coin. And I cobbled together enough money to get me like a sandwich, a big water bottle, and a bag of chips for sodium.
How was that a dopamine rush?
I was living on the edge.
Like physically being like, I got enough. And then being able to cash that in.
Yeah. And then once I finally got money, dude, there's so much to this story. I ended up running into all the parents of the Olympic swim team, and I tried to negotiate. I tried to ask for help, and it's crazy because like I knew who their kids were. Like, you're Mrs. Pearsall. Your son's literally the greatest backstroker of all time. His world record still has yet to be broken.
Whoa.
From 2000 maybe 99. Aaron Pearsall. Whew. But anyways, he's there. I name called everybody that I knew. All the people were there. I'm like tanned out. I'm day 3 or day 4 into this fucking cycle trip. And I would be like, here's $100. Can somebody give me euros? And they were all like, we only came with traveler's checks. And I was like,
They're so wealthy.
They were just like not helping me at all.
Yeah. That's the other thing I was going to ask. So, like, it's just, like, the image of everybody in the stands during the swim races. To me, it's just, like, all, like, the really well-to-do rich people. And then was it just, like, you with, like, the Charlie Brown stink cloud above your head?
Yeah. I actually remember sitting next to an ex-Stanford diver who was there with his 2 kids. He had, I believe, either a boy and a girl or 2 boys. I forget what it was. Anyways, we had a partnership, and he knew the coaches, and he's traveling for business, and he brought his kids to come see the swimming. And, actually, there was like a Jamaican group there, too. But they were there just for funsies. You can just buy tickets to events that you just were interested in. And swimming was not yet what it is now.
Yeah, now it's huge.
I mean, that was the year that like really got you ready for 2008.
Beijing, baby.
Yeah, Beijing.
Everyone knows Beijing.
I went to Beijing. I saw him win. I saw Phelps win a few things there, but like very vastly different experience. But yeah, I should really write all these down. It was a great trip. I survived. I had the biggest rush of my life. The trip from Greece, I'll end it on this.
Sure.
I had to take the bus back from Athens to Plovdiv. And I get on the bus. It's the same fucking driver that brings me down. And he looks at me and he's like, ha ha. I end up passing out. I will wake up. I don't know what happened. I'm lost in Bulgaria. I look at him and I'm about to like ask him, I'm like, Plovdiv, where's Plovdiv? And he looks at me, he's like, Plovdiv? He goes, nah, Plovdiv. I was like, nah, Plovdiv. He's like, nope. Turns out we had passed Plovdiv by 6 hours. And he instructed me to get out in the middle of nowhere, Bulgaria.
What do you mean middle of nowhere?
In middle of nowhere.
Like there's like a goat on a mountain next to you?
Stara Segura.
Rooster cawing?
That's where I got out. And then I had to find my way back to... Yeah! It's a whole thing. Anyways, I don't have more time.
It's fine.
I know.
Well, I mean,
we'll leave you on the hook for the next time. But
for real.
Because I got to be in Graves Lake in about...
I'd love to do this again.
My man, you're a stallion in this scene.
Stallion.
You're very funny. You're doing great things. I like that you are... you got the ambition to fucking do all this stuff.
Unfortunately, I do. Everybody knows Tito's a beast.
Anyways, I love it. Shout out, I follow Tito's Tales, and I don't know what his thing is.
Don't worry about it.
You don't have to worry about it. I'm just giving myself a shout out. Tito's
We're good. All right. Follow Tito. Yeah, that's it.
Bye.
Good night. Goodbye.